Hey gang, set up my guitar back at you with another project I did a few months ago. This is an Epiphone FT-160N. This is my friend Logan's 12-string acoustic. It's called a Texan. It has the capability of being a really fine guitar. This one had 3 issues. In a separate video I show you how to adjust the neck angle on this guitar, because it's a bolt-on neck, and change out the tuners. Now in this one I'm going to show you how to really carefully remove a bridge from an acoustic guitar and then do what's necessary to properly re-glue it. This is quite an adventure. This turned out really well. I think I'm giving you a lot of really good pointers in this video. That's the idea, is to share with you what I learn and what I know. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. Take a few notes. Removing and re-gluing the bridge on an Epiphone FT-160N. Removing the bridge from this beautiful Epiphone 12-string. I have a big gap in the back here when it's up to tension with 12 strings. It's just raised up like almost 20 thousandths. Almost a 32nd of an inch. Let me see. I think this will... There's a demo for you to give you an idea what's going on here. When it's up to tension, it's worse. It goes in deeper. So, got to remove the bridge, get it straightened up, trued up, and re-glue it. May put in a bridge doctor on top of that. So to remove it, I'm going to use a putty knife. I've rounded the corners on this putty knife. Back in the day, I did a Framus guitar bridge removal and rebond. I made this weird contraption. I don't even want to guess how I managed to make this work, but some kind of fiberglass insulated heating element and got the bridge warm. And what we want to do is soften the glue. So I bought a pad heater. I formed it over a roll. You don't want to violate the minimum bend radius. I'm not sure what that is for this, but I think 1/8 of an inch is a good guess. So I used a much gentler radius to begin with, and then when I went to apply it, it actually naturally just formed down to crimp down, and it wanted to get a pretty tight bend going here. So I put this lug in here. It's a little standoff, threaded standoff. I can use this for a temperature sensor. People don't put this together and just plug it into the wall. You're going to burn yourself, you're going to burn your house down. You need some kind of temperature regulation, so you need to put a temperature sensor on here and use it to control the power, so that you're not just running it into AC and running it without shutting it off. You could burn your house down. Don't do that. I'm running it into a Variac. This is a device that lets me dial between 0 and 100% of the wall voltage, and that'll regulate the power that goes into this, but I still need to control the temperature. So you need a closed loop system. You need a controller that controls that temperature for you. All right, don't burn your house down. But we'll use this to separate the bridge from the guitar. Well, I made all these disparaging remarks about this gizmo that I made a few years back for heating up bridges when I need to take them off, and here I am using it again. So I still have my freshly fabricated putty knife with the heater on it, and that's real good for getting heat right in there just at the interface between the bridge and the top of the guitar, but you want to heat the whole bridge up to some extent. Good idea. Make sure it's not getting too hot right now. Feels about right. So we want to loosen up that glue, whether it's high glue or Titebond that was used on this Norland fabrication of this. Let's see if we can get everything heated up a little bit, and then we'll go in with the new putty knife with the heater on it and work the interface a little bit more. You got to do it slowly and gradually and gently. You don't want to break a perfectly good bridge. We just want to get it re-glued so that it's in intimate contact instead of lifting up. Let's see, what else can I say about this? So this heater is rated at 25 watts. So with my Variac, when I run it at 70%, that's the power is the voltage squared divided by the resistance. So as you go down in voltage on this, so when you get to 0.7 squared is around 0.49. Yeah, so that's roughly half the power. So at 70% I was getting about half the 25 watts, 12.5 watts. Right now I've got this at 15 because this heater is about 9 ohms. I did the calculation, and 15 squared divided by 9 is 25 watts. So right now I'm heating it pretty good. It's heating up that whole area though, so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm checking it every now and then, so I just got this on here as a weight. It's just keep it in relatively intimate contact there. Try and get as much heat localized as I can, and see how this goes. So here's the dry fit for this bridge going back on. I got all the glue off, both the guitar top and the bridge, bottom of the bridge. I scuffed this, cleaned everything up. I can use the bridge pins to locate it, but I'm going to try and find something that's going to get me even less play than you might see here. I want it exactly where it needs to be. No play. I'm using these clamps on the wings. The lower part has a cup that has a little groove in it that locates on the brace. And he's real good at getting nice solid contact here. So that when time comes that we do glue this down, it's going to be rock solid. And we put these little protective cups on here. This is the one that has the groove, and it goes on the bottom side. It locates on the brace. Turns out that there's bracing right under these wings where I want to clamp. And you could make a strap that would go across, sort of like the, what's it called, the bridge brace. And the thing is, for it to be thick enough to do anything, like, you know, this thick, you're going to run out of adjustment on your clamp. So you need a deeper opening in the clamp. Yeah, whatever. So this will do great. Dry fit, make sure everything works good. Get the screws that go with the bridge, get those located in here, and throw everything together. Final dry fit, and then we'll goop it up with some tight bond. Use plenty. Make sure it smears all over. Wipe off the excess. If I have to, I'll drill out the excess that ends up in here, but I want really good intimate contact, so I want complete adhesion. Catch you later. Well, I'm really happy with this. I found that most of these holes are 3/16 of an inch, and I have some dowel pins that are 3/16. And the two holes that set the position of the adjustable bridge, it rides within the saddle, that rides within the bridge. There are clearance holes bored through because the little thumb screws that raise and lower the bridge, they go through these tapped holes, and you need clearance under there, so there's relief. And these pins fit right into those holes, and I've got zero play now. This is exactly where this wants to be. Very psyched. This is awesome. We are one step away from applying glue. And so now these are the screws that go through, and they have these heads. And what I need to do is align those as well as I can like this one is, and then I'll press that in. Yeah, that's good. That's nice and flush. And I got to get this one the same way. And then when that's done, we'll do one more step of dry fit. Oh yeah, that's nice. So those actually help pilot this down in. Still a lot of play, the pins go in. All that play goes away. Alright, well, I'm kind of panicked about doing this live, but I think I've got this procedure worked out pretty well. I'm going to try gluing this bridge in place live on camera. Use one of these foam applicators to spread the glue. I've got the screws in here. That locate and will help pull up against the okay, that's why I'm panicked about doing this live. You never know. So anyway, the screws are going to set the alignment and also provide some clamping force. Remember, I scuffed all this wood up carefully. This is what the manufacturer didn't really do. First time around, they didn't give it a good coating everywhere, and they also had finish on the top of the guitar where they were about to glue the bridge, and that's not cool. So that's part of the reason it lifted. Glue can't really stick to that finish, and in addition to not being able to stick to the finish, they didn't really have glue everywhere. I'm going to have glue everywhere, as you can probably see. But we have ways to deal with this, I hope. There goes the dog. She hates to be left out. Okay, that's not too bad. So the glue really has nothing to cure to right now. So as long as they don't take too much longer, it's okay to have some here. And I'll do this again after I get the bridge in place. Alright. Not bad. You can even it out a little bit. Okay, so now let's get a good coating on the top of the guitar. Yeah, it was back in here where there was finish, and that's where the bridge was lifting up. Kind of obvious that's not really going to adhere too well, but I mean it's a good guitar. It's worth doing this to. This is going to be a really fine instrument when I'm done. Alright. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Put the bridge down and then very quickly get the pins in place to locate it. Remember how those work. I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple of the regular pegs. Okay, so now I'm going to put this guy in place. The hole it's going to, I want to make sure is cleaned out, because I won't have access to it after. And if I'm not too nervous, yeah, I can get the nut on, spin it on good. Alright, so I've also got the nuts for the studs that are in place there. You remember the studs that come through? These are tough to get on. For this, I'm definitely going to need to take off the gloves. Or at least one glove. And this is how they were in, just there was no washer. It's just the nut going right up against the bridge plate. Okay, that's being enough of a bugger. I'm going to put those on later because that's just taking too much time. I got to get these on. These clamps, that's a must to get these clamps on in a timely fashion. Gonna get this guy tightened. Oh yeah, that's squeezing good. And this one. So we've got the central screw and nut. Okay, that's good. I don't know if you can see that. Alright, I'm going to try and give a quick demo of the way this sounds. Let's see.